And finally, to our special segment, Resurgent Africa. Amid reports of coups and crises that dominate the headlines from the continent, we get you positive stories that often get overlooked. People in the Democratic Republic of Congo are taking the fight against climate change to the dinner table. Forget about kale and quinoa. The Democratic Republic of Congo is going all in on crunchy critters. It's a buzzworthy solution, and it is not just eco-friendly, it is also tackling malnutrition head-on. With insects as the new superfood, the Democratic Republic of Congo is proving that saving the planet can be deliciously unconventional. Our final report gets you all the details.
Insects are considered tasty seasonal snacks in many African countries. Eating insects or entomophagy is a traditional practice there. In Uganda, termites and grasshoppers are commonly consumed by many cultures. In the African Great Lakes region, a dish called kunku is made from densely compressed midges or flies. For some, it's a staple food, while for some, it's a taste bud tingling delicacy. And now these insects are being touted as a sustainable food source amid growing hunger issues in Africa. Especially in Congo, where malnutrition is a common issue among underprivileged children. Children are now combating the loss of nutrients and proteins via insects. At an orphanage in Congo's capital Kinshasa, thick palm tree larvae doused in a spicy sauce have become a part of their meals. A local NGO which runs 2 larvae farms is giving them fried larvae for food.
At the very beginning, the idea was to try to respond to the problems of deprived children living in orphanages. And we realized that just organizing visits wasn't going to solve the real problem. We realized that there was a serious problem of malnutrition and lack of nutrients among children, especially those under 5. So we thought, here's what we can do to solve this problem once and for all. Why not put in place a sustainable solution that can address both child malnutrition and environmental problems? So we turned to insects.
For centuries now, people living in several parts of Africa have been consuming insects. But in a time like today, where climate change is wreaking havoc on the planet, population growth is putting additional pressure on resources. The practice of eating insects has made a comeback. Moreover, advocates of insect consumption say that the nutritional value in insects are high.
As you know, it's not easy for everyone to have access to meat products. It's not easy. So we had to turn to proteins. Sustainable proteins, in particular from insects, because this has been scientifically proven. Meat does not have a higher concentration of protein than insects.
In 2013, the UN's FAO, the Food and Agricultural Organization, issued a report on edible insects, and they endorsed them as a food source because of its sustainability.
Experts say they also have a lower environmental footprint, as growing a group of insects doesn't need a lot of space and effort. In the neighboring Benin, a group is breeding larvae or black soldier fly as animal feed. It's a bid to replace costlier imported ingredients for poultry farmers. Along with this, it's also providing employment to people who are facing economic difficulty.
It's an activity that's easy to carry out. It doesn't require much investment. It can be done just about anywhere, except where the climate isn't right. It requires a little improvement, but it's not a big deal. This means that it can be done by people who may have economic difficulties in obtaining an income. And a better income can mean better quality food, for example.
So it takes a very small land and very little water to make a lot of insects. So obviously it's good for the environment, and also we try to steer clear of animal cruelty, and
It takes a fraction of the resources to grow a pound of crickets as it does a pound of beef. And so the amount of water it takes, the greenhouse gas emissions that it emits compared to the livestock, the amount of land that's required, the amount of feed that's required, there are so many factors that just lead to, this is kind of smart.
The practice of entomophagy, deeply rooted in many African cultures, is proving to be a viable solution for contemporary challenges, amidst growing concerns over climate change, resource scarcity, and malnutrition. Insects offer a sustainable, nutrient-rich alternative to traditional protein sources. Their low environmental footprint and high nutritional value make them an attractive option for addressing both food security and environmental sustainability.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison LaGrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global South. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can we expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison LaGrange, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear policy. For the first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Eric Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C.